we were wearing black today, black jerseys, and so that was helpful. And then I thought we got some key stops throughout. But again, it's just a few mistakes where, we know the scout, we know exactly what direction they're going, and they kept going those directions, and that's pretty frustrating.
Cooper gave you a pretty good lift in the second half, his shooting.
Yeah, I mean, they were loaded so much to Bennett. He was able to get some free looks, and he manned up and knocked him down. He was awesome tonight. I thought he was good defensively. I thought he was competitive. I thought it was his best game of the year.
Can you walk through, I guess, just what you kind of saw in overtime on both ends of the floor?
Well, the first possession, we gave up a drive and kick, and generally we know that's what Sam does is he's really good at driving and kicking, and we overhelped. I think that was the first possession. I'm not totally sure, and then after that we let the guy go to the direction that he drives. Two costly mistakes, and then offensively, we got stuck on the side too much. And didn't get it to the middle of the floor as often as possible, and so we just got to do a better job of getting buckets there.
Defensively, what were some of the big differences between the first and second half for you guys?
Yeah, I still didn't think we were great even the second half. I think we got more stops. I just didn't think we were didn't get good pressure on the ball, didn't get good hand activity. Just weren't as good as usual.
The way that Nebraska was guarding Bennett, is there any way that this helps you moving into the postseason, seeing how much other teams might try to stop him and how you guys can adjust to that?
No, not really, because theirs is just really unique. It's just really unique, I mean, they're so heavy side, and you drive in middle and you run into their legs, and it's just like, where are you going to go? You can't really go anywhere. It's like, I don't know what to do. So then you drive baseline, but then they bring the double team, and so that's a problem. Maybe theirs is unique. Theirs is a really good defense. Like, it's really good. They do a great job with their execution. I mean, it's really good.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Everyone, welcome. Questions for Coach?
How you think the guys handled not only just the emotions of senior night and everything else, but the back and forth flow of the game, especially going into OT.
Yeah, I thought they handled the emotions of the day really well, and it was emotional. It was emotional for a lot of guys. I saw it in Rink. I certainly saw it in Sam. I got emotional out there. It was a those guys have done so much for us, and and let me give a quick shout out to Kendall Blue, who I'm telling you, his attitude throughout this entire process has absolutely been phenomenal. And Kendall's a hell of a player. I mean, he's got a long career ahead of him. So Kendall, Jared, who's been in and out of the rotation. Obviously, I thought Jared gave us good minutes out there today, and then Jamarcus, being here for a year and coming back, or 2 years and coming back. I mean, it's just. These guys have done so much for our program. So, to have to handle the emotions of the day, which I know is a big part of this night, it says a lot about them. Not only as the type of players they are, but the type of people and the type of character that they approach their daily lives with. So, really proud of all 5 of those guys. And, as far as the game, yeah, it was, they're so disciplined in everything they do. I don't think Sturtz's pulse gets above 70. I mean, he's just so incredibly steady out there and makes plays. It makes really hard plays look easy. That's a sign of a true, a really good point guard. And, obviously they shot the ball. Combs was unbelievable out there. And Koch, I mean, those guys, the role players played really well today. But I'll say this, we didn't meet our defensive goals in the last 2 media timeouts, but I give our guys credit for regrouping and finding a way after a really tough stretch there at the end. We missed 2 1-on-1s. We couldn't secure a rebound that led to the last Combs 3 to tie it, and our guys found a way to regroup, and then we did hit our goal, in those last in the 5 minutes of overtime. So I give our guys a lot of credit, and then Kale obviously stepping up and making those 2 huge shots, just kind of capped it off.
What was the mood just in the huddle after regulation? How did you get to see guys?
You know what, Wilson, there was no head hanging. And the guys were very businesslike, and the guys that missed the rebound and missed the free throws, they had a very stoic look on their face. So the guys found a way to recover after the tough stretch there at the end, and give Iowa credit. That's what they do. They play with a tremendous amount of poise, and they found the hot hand. But our guys made really, really big plays all throughout that 5 minutes extra session.
Fred, after a West Coast trip and then you go overtime today, how do you think this plays for you, then having 4 days off before you go to tournament?
Yeah, I mean, our guys, they're fine. I thought they handled the prep very well this week after a disappointing finish to the road trip, and we because of the rule, the NCAA rule, when we got off the plane, we came straight to practice, and we had a lengthy film session, cleanup of the UCLA game, and then did a first look on Iowa, and then we took Thursday off, and then practiced Saturday, Sunday, or whatever hell, I don't even know what day it is, Friday, Saturday, leading into the Sunday game here. So, I give our guys a lot of credit for how they prepared, not just for this game, but they've done it all year. And after a disappointing loss, disappointing performance, we added some new things. I thought we did a good job getting Price the ball on the block, which we haven't done a lot of this year, and we got him underneath the basket in just a simple floppy type action and freed him up for a couple of shots. But we really traded baskets, and I was unbelievably defensively. You saw what they did to us a couple weeks ago at their place, and our offense was pretty good today, but defensively we got to be better than that. It's what's carried us all year, and again, I give our guys credit for finding a way in those last 5 minutes to get that edge back.
You mentioned Kale, all 8 guys who stepped on the floor ended up scoring. How big was just getting that depth production when they're going to pressure you and just try to take Price in it?
Yeah, it was very important, and Kale, I thought our guys made really good plays, and Kale had no hesitation, stepped right up there and knocked down the biggest shots of the day for us, and they were hugging Price and making life difficult for him, but I thought the other guys stepped up. Rink had a really nice little jump hook in there to get us started in overtime, and then it became the Kale Jacobson show.
Coach McCollum mentioned the defensive effort you guys put against Bennett Sturtz in particular that kind of threw him off. Was that your priority, number 1, 2, 3, just containing him as much as possible?
Yeah, I mean he's as good a point guard as there is in the country, and he just like I said, his ability to make plays and you just had what we talked about with them was we didn't want to give up dip threes, so we were trying to run him off the line and then have a second defender there, and then we were going to rotate out of it. And they made us pay on a few of those with some shots that they hit or some dump offs. But Sturts is so good at hitting those shots, especially in crunch time. I thought we did a good job of crowding him, and then to his credit, he made a lot of really good plays out there. When he wasn't scoring it.
Had to play two complete halves plus another 5 minutes, and it seemed like there was never any time where it was comfortable. How important is that going into? I know there's a Big Ten tournament to play, but going into the NCAA tournament to have had that experience here at the end.
Yeah, I is it going to benefit us? I don't know. But to have to find a way to rally when things weren't looking great there at the end is it is good experience. You can't simulate that stuff. We played it off that way. We wanted to get that experience. I'm just kidding. But it, for our guys to find a way to rally, that was huge. And you're going to have to do that. You have to play through adversity in the tournament. I told our guys, everything you work for, going all the way back to June when Kurt Joseph was crushing them in the weight room and all the conditioning sessions, it's for this time. It's for this time of year. This is what it's all about. And this is the fun time of year. And our guys, I told them in the locker room, they made history again today by having the highest seed ever in the Big Ten with the 2 seed. We had a 3 seed a couple years ago, but, they continue to make history with this program. And this is the fun time, but nothing's given. It's one and done time of year. So you got to be on point. Your focus has to be extra. I didn't like our focus going into the UCLA game as much as what it had been. But we got that back this week, and now we're going to have to keep it for as long as we play.
The decision to have the players come back out of the locker room and do a lap around, could you speak a little bit of just how much this place and the fan base has really transcended as the team has continued to take off this season?
100%. I wanted our guys to come out and just make sure they thanked all the fans that have made this a really special season. They've been here, and it's not just the Big Ten games. I mean, they've been here going all the way back to the BYU game. And it's just been a really special season, a fun team, I think, to pull for our fans. And I just wanted our guys to make sure they went out there and thanked the fans for really helping us have a special season here at PBA.
What do you think allowed you to find your offensive rhythm a little more in the second half?
It's a good question, Wilson. I'll go back and watch it, but I thought we freed up Price on a couple shots. I thought we got downhill and we finished better. I thought we quick shot at the basket in the first half a little bit too much. But we did a much better job of going in there under control and making the right play in the second half.
How important was it for Rank to get some momentum behind the arc and a couple threes heading into the postseason?
Yeah, those are huge. He's been he hit 4 of them in practice yesterday, so I think it's just for him. He feels really good physically. Just a matter of time, before he took the lid off of it, and it was good to see him knock down a couple. Hopefully, give him some confidence heading into the postseason.
It was obviously more than just overtime. He had the steal against Sturts late when you were up 4 and made it through traffic to hit a bucket. Why is he so good in those moments?
Kale's got great hands. He does a really good job of swiping down and getting deflections on the ball really before it gets above the offensive player's waist. And he's just got a knack for the ball. He and Sam are 2 leading deflections guys. BK's up there as well. But Kale he's got unbelievable hands. He's got great instincts, great anticipation, and that was a huge play.
How meaningful was it pregame as well to have the whole family out there for Sam? And I know you said you weren't sure how you were going to react.
Yeah, it was definitely emotional, and the Spurs flew Jack back, and he's surprised. We had dinner at the house last night with both of his grandmothers, and our daughter flew in the day before, and Jack surprised him last night. And Jack's been so instrumental in Sam's career when he first got the opportunity to be in the rotation and play. Sam had a very similar path as a walk-on that earned a scholarship that got an opportunity to play in some pretty big games. So Jack's been huge, and they talk every day with Charlie, and to have everybody out there was really special. And my wife gets all the credit for this whole thing, for how she just kept everything intact. And I'm on the road, I'm playing. She raised them a lot of times on her own during the basketball season, and she deserves a lot of credit for the type of kids that we've raised. And I'm really proud of all of them.
Triple bye. What does the next couple of days look like?
Yeah, we're still figuring that out. I'm going to talk to our captains and see how they want to approach it to see if we want to take tomorrow off or if we come in and do the similar thing with film and with walkthrough, putting in a game plan, or if we want to give them the day tomorrow in 3 days. So I don't know yet, but the good thing is we'll have a little bit of time to recover. Thanks. Thank you, guys. Thanks for everything.
Rick, I know you said you weren't sure how today was going to go, but with all the emotions going into it and then just the way the game went, just how back and forth it was throughout, how do you think you guys just kind of processed all that and kind of held your boys through the finish line?
Yeah, I thought we held our emotions in check before the game. Everybody was focused. Everybody was locked in to start the game. You saw that we both game planned very well. A little rough start on offense, but both defenses were locked in. Yeah, and then towards the end of the game with the crowd and everything, I'm proud of the guys, the way they handled, especially going into overtime and staying poised and taking care of business in overtime.
Gail, what's going through your mind on those 2 corner threes? You stepped into those?
It's pretty open, so it's one of those where you have to shoot it, and felt confident, stepped into it, and just knocked it down. So.
Gale's performance, especially in crunch time with plays he made on both ends of the floor.
I told him in the second half, like, hey, we're going to need you to knock one down because they were kind of helping off of him. And he came up huge in that overtime. Like, yeah, I was so glad you hit those threes. That made me so happy. He was great. He was great.
How important was Kale's 8 rebounds and Price's 7 kind of to relieve some pressure for you?
Yeah, at Iowa, they kind of dominated us on the glass at times. Today they did as well, but I think we got some very timely, necessary rebounds, especially there in overtime. They were huge of just cleaning up. I know I try and keep those bigs out of there, and then it's always great if I got a guy locked up and then I see one of my guys just flying by me and grabbing one. Like, we got to get it as a team. That's the most important thing. So Kale and Price were huge in that.
What you've gone through last year, coming back this year, you guys tied the most wins in program history today. Senior night, you guys get a ring of honor around the court. What are those emotions you're going through?
I got a little emotional there after the game. It's been a long journey, and it's been really rewarding. Last time today in PBA was, and to close it out this way, like you want to win on your senior night, and I'm so happy for all the seniors on our team that we did that, and we closed it out the right way at home. I didn't think I was going to be that emotional after the game, but it was pretty cool with all the fans. Just to have that moment.
What's the mood like in the huddle for either you just at the end of regulation going into overtime? Are you guys able to reset?
Yeah, just take a deep breath. Like, obviously we were in a position where we probably didn't want to be in overtime, and we would love to handle those last, whatever it was, 3 or 4 minutes better. But the situation was what it was, and with everything that was going on, with it being senior day, these guys' last chance, like, we just had to take a moment together and take a breath, refocus, and really just lock in on the defensive end. They were kind of carving us up down the stretch, and so we knew that was going to be where we won in overtime, and to hold them to 5, like, obviously that meets our goal that we have for every 4-minute media timeout. We just had to take a breath and reset and refocus going into overtime.
Defensively, you guys held Sturts to 11 points and I think just 4 points over second half and overtime. What was the plan against him, maybe compared to what it was in Iowa City, and how well do you think you guys executed that?
Yeah, I mean, the guy's unbelievable. 45 minutes is normal for him, right? But just like the amount of attention that he draws is pretty insane. You always have to know where he's at. And I think that Sam and Jamarcus spent a lot of time on him, and then our bigs, you have to give a lot of credit to our bigs too, because they're so at the level in the pick and roll. A lot of times it's 2 on the ball and you're guarding them with 2 people. But then, I don't know. He's tough. We really didn't want to give him dip threes, right? When he's in his isolation and his pick and roll, don't let him step you off and get up a 3-pointer. But yeah, he's a handful.
How much the fact that you guys had to finish this out in overtime sort of epitomizes the senior group and the team, just the fact that nothing has really come easy to you guys in your career, and you sort of had to end it the same way.
Yeah, it's a tough group. We've been through our battles. We've been through pretty shitty years. I've heard stories of Sam from his first year of where the program was, and it's been a grind to get it where it is right now, and to grind it out in overtime, like you said, it's a testament to the type of character that is on this team. Just got some hard-nosed guys that they want to win really bad, and we've been so together this whole year. So to finish it out together and have everybody step up there, that was great.
There's obviously a lot going on today with senior day, and the fact that it was Iowa. It's been a long time since you beat them, and it kind of goes beyond basketball with these 2 schools. How much was that factor for you guys, and just like playing into the tension that was in the arena for 45 minutes?
Yeah, we didn't really want to talk about it. If you can't get up for this game, for a senior night game against a rival, like, you're probably not in the right business in basketball. Like, this is one that you don't even have to talk about the emotions that come with it. Everybody kind of knows. And so, yeah, I think we had 2 good days of prep. And we needed this one, right, just to get back on track before the Big Ten tournament, to bounce back from that UCLA game where we didn't play up to our standard. Like, there was a lot of things that went into it that didn't really need talking about with this group because we know what the stake was.
You had 2 big games start off the month of March here. You obviously had the Crown last year. What is it about this month that really gets you fired up?
I don't know. It's a good question. Yeah, it's cool, super special just to be able to, like, these guys didn't want to lose this game on their senior night, but we didn't want them to lose the game on the senior night just as bad. Like, we all get another chance, but it meant a lot to our whole group to send these guys out on the right note. And so, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully we can keep it going, but good point. I don't know.
Yeah, Cal, I mean, similar question. I mean, just a game like you had tonight, how much does it show how much your game has grown since you got here?
Yeah, like I kind of said before, but it's just all about taking advantage of opportunities. Late in the game, I had some open shots and had to shoot it with confidence and knock it down. But yeah, just when the opportunity comes, that's what we talk about all the time with our group. And it could be in the in overtime of a game in March, or it could be in June when you have to step up onto another practice court for the first time. Like, everything's an opportunity, and just being ready to take advantage of those.
At the end of the game, you gave the ball to Sam to wind up the clock. I guess what prompted you to do that, and was that kind of indicative of just what he's meant to you in this program?
Yeah, Sam has been through it all, and he's been a consistent force for us through it all. You always know what you're going to get from Sam, and that's heart. You're going to get toughness. And that just kind of felt like the right thing to do. He had earned the right to dribble that ball out on his home court for the final time. And he just continues to fight for our team. And I know it means a little bit, maybe more when your dad's the head coach, but I promise he would be the same. He would fight the same way no matter who was in charge. And so, yeah, just to give him that moment to soak it all in for the last time was cool.
Anything else for these guys?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.